What is up, Harmaniacs? Parastasis here. We are taking a look today at a game called Dune Spice Wars. This is, I believe, technically a 4X strategy game, although it's a little different than a lot of the 4X strategy games that you and I might be familiar with. When I think 4X, I think of something like Sins of a Solar Empire, those type of games. But this is kind of like that. It has a lot of differences. If you've ever played a game, I believe it's called Northgard, it's very similar in aspects to that. So I haven't played Northgard in a long time, so I don't remember most of it. I vaguely remember it. I think I was playing it on Switch at the time. So, and I had to try this game because I literally my first real major gaming experience was a game called Dune: The Battle for Arrakis, which is a game available for the Sega Genesis back in the day, released in 1992 by Westwood Studios, and it was kind of a precursor literally to the whole RTS genre. So this game is absolutely nothing like that, other than the fact that it partakes in the same general IP and license, Dune, but that game kind of holds a special place in my heart. Me and my dad used to build bases in that game, and then we would leave the Sega Genesis running for a week or so and see if the AI could beat our base. And it's a very simple game compared to games out nowadays, but it was a hell of a lot of fun. So let's jump into it and let's take a look at what Dune has to offer. So there are 4 different races. You have House Atreides, and I'm probably going to mess up some of the pronunciations of this because I've never watched the movies. There was one that came out, I think, back in the 80s, and then there was one that came out, I think, fairly recently. I've never really watched them. I'm familiar sort of with the lore from playing the games, but that's about it. So if I screw up a name, I apologize. So House Atreides is the first race. House Harkonnen is another race. These are the 2 main races, I would say, in the game that partake in like the political intrigue side of things. There is kind of this political situation on the planet with the Emperor and all of that, and these 2 houses, they're kind of the main ones that get to partake in those types of things. And then you have the smugglers, which are kind of like a band of outlaws, so to speak, and then you have the Fremen, which are the people who actually live on Dune itself. So House Atreides is, I don't know, I would say it's probably, I think, what the game may have thought people should play to begin with. It is a race that has the ability to basically peacefully annex towns. So instead of having to fight for them, you can just use your Jedi mind powers to make them join you with your authority. But that does take a long time. To me, I've never really, other than the fact that maybe you could early game send one group of guys in one direction, another group, and then use your Jedi mind powers to take over the town in another direction. I don't personally like the ability, but it does have its uses. Harkonnen, other than the fact that you're playing literally Jabba the Hutt, is actually probably one of the easier races, at least in my opinion, because it's pretty much all military based. You get a penalty for being Harkonnens, basically. So you'll notice down here, minus 10% village resource production. So you're like, dude, that sucks. But if you look at the line above it, village resource production per active militia, and each town can have 4, you technically end up with better production. So initially it kind of sucks, but then as you get to later and later game, you do better, right? And technically it's really not an issue even early game if you invest in it, and with the way the race works, you can do that. Oppression ability allows you to basically temporarily boost a village's resource production. So if you're having issues with resources, you can use oppression to basically beat people into producing more. Smugglers, they have a cool unique ability which allows them to basically build stuff on on other people's towns. So for instance, if the Harkonnens take a town, then the smugglers can build some stuff on that. Think of them kind of like the Skaven, I guess, with their undercities on if you're into Warhammer. If you're not, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. But it basically allows you to do some development on somebody else's property. And then you have the Fremen. The really cool thing about the Fremen is they have one of the best travel mechanics in the game. Everybody else has to basically use airfields to kind of get around, whereas the Fremen, they can literally use one of the biggest kind of penalties in the game, which is sandworms. Sandworms are attracted to sound and vibration, so if you're having a fight somewhere, there's going to be a sandworm coming to pay you a visit, and they can gobble up entire units. They can gobble up multiple entire units, and there's nothing you can do about them. You can't kill them, you can't fight them, you just die if they get you. So the Fremen can summon them and then ride them and use them to travel pretty wide distances. It's not, huge. I mean, it's pretty huge. It's pretty huge. So there are some other differences between the four races. House Atreides is kind of more what do you call it? The diplomatic version. House Harkonnen is the more just fucking kill everybody version, and then you have the Smugglers and the Fremen, which have kind of their own little unique gameplay methods. So each of these races will definitely play a little bit differently, if that's your cup of tea. So there's some replayability, if that makes sense. This game also can go fairly long, so I don't think we're going to get a whole game out of this, but I can at least show you the basics and we can kind of get going. So once you've picked your race, and we're going to go with Harkonnen because, good God, that dude is as fat as I am. Holy shit. And I'm a little jealous because he's more symmetrical than I am, and I got to say he looks pretty good in those tights. I would not look that good in those tights, and like I'm not a giant beach ball. I just look like I'm 9 months pregnant with sextuplets, so I'm a little jelly. But I mean those chins that dude's got, whoo, that is a face only a mama could love. So anyways, over here on the left, you have all of your different abilities, and then you have something called hegemony, or hegemony. Not quite sure how to pronounce that word. I've heard it a million different ways, and I'm sure many of you are rushing to the comments right now to be like, actually, feel free. You would not be the first one to point out that I am completely butchering the English language. Is hegemony English? Or is that like old English, like British English? Who knows? One of you will probably know, and will probably tell me the entire history of that word. Anyways, hegemony is hegemony is a point system that is kind of in the background, and it grows based on a variety of things, and as it grows, you unlock tiers. And I think the first one's like 2,000, then 5,000, then 10,000. I don't think you get anything at 2,000, but at 5,000, that's the big boost. So at 5,000, we get these abilities here, and then at 10,000, we get these abilities here. So each race has their own benefits. Sometimes it's a slight benefit, sometimes it's a massive benefit. It just kind of depends on you. The other option that you have is you have Councilors. So we have a variety of different dudes here that can do a variety of different things, and these can drastically change, so to speak, how you play the game. So for instance, we can do Lakin right here, who's going to give us the ability to make drugs and, well, not make drugs, but reduce the cost of drug missions, I believe. And then if your people die, which, happens inevitably, you get half of the money back. So this kind of allows you, I guess, to play more aggressively, because if you were to die, you're going to get some of your money back, and it's not quite so big a deal. We have Raban here, and you'll notice he gives you +1 militia slot. Now that's actually really huge, because keep in mind, our race over here has the ability to, you get 5% per active production, you get 5% production per active militia on a town. So with him, that goes up from a possible of a 10% to 15%, because I'm taking into account the negative 10%. So this gives you an extra bonus, which will allow you to produce 15% more than your rivals. We have Peter de Vries. I'm not really familiar with him because I don't usually get into the stealth much, or not stealth much, the intel stuff much, but that's an option. And then you have this guy here, allows you to use corruption on Landsraad resolutions, causing a loss of standing for the elected faction. So The thing I like about this is you get 10 influence upon killing rebels, and influence is something that you can use to kind of sway. It's basically free votes. So if you go out and murder a bunch of people, you get more votes. So that's more or less it. I don't really understand the corruption mechanic. I believe what happens is it allows you to more or less, because the way Landsraad works is there are things that, like, think of them as bills, or they're really basically buffs and debuffs, but they're resolutions that are being passed and people get to vote on them and sometimes assign them to a race, and you can go through there and kind of fuck with them. So there's also a bunch of options here that you can tweak. You can set up the AI difficulty, you can set up the number of sieges, which are basically a non-rival NPC groups. You can, some factions, I don't know if all factions, but some factions can trade with them and make kind of little alliances, sort of. Storms, the sandstorm, sandworms are the evil sandworms, and then you can have the size of the map. The maps are fairly large, so if you were to go with large, you would be dealing with a truly expansive system. Obviously, what I think is large, you may not, but to me, it is very large. I mean, obviously, it's not the same as, like, you know, a Stellaris game with, you know, 5,000 systems or something like that, but it's a lot. All right, let's go ahead and get into the game. It's got some pretty cool backgrounds. I wouldn't mind having that as my desktop. All right, so let's pause, and we're going to go over basically all of the stuff here real quick before we get into it. So first off, you're going to notice the flashing thing over here on the left. This is basically just, think of it like a tutorial. You don't get anything for doing these. Later on, you will get things for doing stuff over here. But for right now, this is basically, hey, this is what you should do this. You have your two advisors here, so they'll show you kind of, you're never going to look at these guys again, really, but if you forget what you're doing, they will tell you. This is Spice. Spice is literally the entire purpose of the game and kind of the lore. Basically, Spice is this wonderful magical thing. If I recall, it gives like immortality, more or less, as long as you take it. So think of it like as magical cocaine that if you snort it, you live forever. I think. I may be wrong about that. Like I said, I've never read the books, watched the movies. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. I do like sci-fi, but for whatever reason, Dune just never appealed to me. I think it was because it's a different kind. I'm more into, you know, like aliens and, you know, let's blow the door open and kill everybody. And Dune is more like, you know, the existential crisis of the human condition and, you know, fascism and, you know, what happens if, you know, the corporate structure runs amok and blah, 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 blah. It's too high level. I just want to watch things die. Anyways, this is your spice coffers. It kind of shows you how much spice you have. Now, here is the bar. Now, you can adjust this bar. And what this basically does is it allows you to stockpile spice, which you will inevitably need because your ass is getting taxed by the glorious emperor. And if you don't pay your taxes, there are penalties. And then you can basically sell some of it for cash, which is chum. So it's up to you, you know, how much you want to do. Whatever you set up here, you can come over here and click on the spice report, and this will tell you how much you're going to make. So right now you can see we're not making dick because, well, we don't have a spice place. That's one of the first things you want to do. He who controls the spice pretty much can win this game. If you have all the spice and your opponents do not, it is not going to be a good time for them. But it will tell you how many days you have until this kicks in. So this is something we want to kind of prioritize. It shows what the exchange rate is. This exchange rate changes over time. So for instance, if the exchange rate is garbage, you might want to stockpile for a later time and then maybe trade it when it's worth more. Or you can just stockpile it and, you know, use that to pay off your taxes. Keep in mind, it is how you earn Solaris or whatever, which is the currency. Chom is, I believe, the bank. So Solari is, I think, and I may have misspoke earlier and called it Chom. It's Solari. Solari is the currency. You get Solari for selling spice, and I think you get a base. You get a base value of 30. So since we have an Ornithopter, which is this little scouting thing, we actually lose 2. Every unit in the game has upkeep, so it's something to think about. And this is the tax that's coming up, so you can see we're going to owe 80. This just allows you to see when it clicks over, you're going to owe 80, and eventually there's going to be a little timer here that ticks down so you can see. So you've got money, which is Solari. If you look at it, you can see the breakdown. You have Plascrete, same thing. You can see the breakdown. You can also see the caps. So for instance, Solari does not have a cap. Plascrete has a cap of 5,000. Manpower has a cap of 50. Fuel cells, water, authority, and then Landsraad standing. So the standing is part of the complex game that we'll get into here in a bit. That's part of this over here, but it hasn't started yet, so we can't get into that, and I can't show you. Same thing, I can't show you the research. These are going to be the people that you are more or less working with and or against. You can trade with them and then make treaties with them, but keep in mind, anytime you do a treaty, it does affect your authority, and authority is one of those things that you need to grow your like basically take towns. You can't take towns without authority. So here is the map. You can see the little fog of war here, which we're going to start chipping away at. So you can see that pretty much always, and it's not 100%, but pretty much always, you're going to have a spice place right next to you. If you don't, you should restart because you need this. I believe it is possible to not get one, and there is some RNG here. There can be some completely rigged setups. So spice is pretty much the number one thing. You want to jump on that as fast as you can. Now you're going to notice that there's like a little line out here. That is this sector. So this is a sector. This is a sector. This sector is going to have a town in it. You claim that town, you get the entire thing. This is going to touch another sector, possibly 2, possibly 3, possibly, whatever. And there are bonuses and such that we can throw back and forth. So it sounds complicated. It's not. We'll go from there. So over here we have and I'll get into this stuff later once it unlocks. Right now it hasn't unlocked, so there's nothing I can show you. And then you have your units here. So the harvester obviously is what harvests spice, unless you are freemen, which don't need it. So they have their own specialized mechanic, which is cool for them because they also don't have to worry about the sandworms like you do. Well, everybody else does. You have Ornithopters, which are basically little flybot guys, and you have the military. So we're going to go ahead and unpause the game. You can pause and unpause the game with spacebar. I'm going to select the Ornithopter, and we're going to go ahead and jump out here and scout. So as you move your Ornithopter, it kind of opens things up. So you can see that we've opened this sector, and now we've opened this sector. So we want to look around and find where this town is. It's not going to give you the entire sector. It just kind of purges the stuff as you go. The towns are always on these rocks, and the whole point of it basically is the rocks are where the sandworms can't go, because the sandworms can dig through sand because they're frickin' sandworms. They can't dig through cement, or not cement, but rock or whatever. We are going to go ahead and build some duders here. Get those rocking and rolling, because we're going to want to take this town. And I'm going to go ahead and set this guy to auto. So bottom left hand corner, you can turn him to auto, and you can turn him on. A good tactic is to pretty much reveal everything around you, and then you can kind of prioritize. I'm not too worried about that right now because, like I said, I'm not planning on really min-maxing at this point. I'm not planning on, completing this game. Probably I might, but we're just playing around. All right. So the buildings, at least of these units, are asynchronous, I think or maybe it's synchronous. Basically, you can build them both at the same time. So in most games, and we'll click this and then we'll click the thing to get rid of it. In most games, you build one, then you build the next, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and it kind of slows things down the more you build. With this, it'll build all of these at once. The exception to that, obviously, or maybe not obviously, is when you do towns. So like for instance, towns can have militias and they will build instantly. Ooh, keep moving. But they won't build buildings. Like you can only build one building at a time. All right, so if we zoom in here, you're going to notice on the bar here we have a health bar and we have a supply bar. That supply bar diminishes as you're roaming. So you got to be very careful, because if you run out of supply, you're basically dead. You'll very quickly start losing health. So we're kind of in trouble here because this guy's so far away. And we're also in trouble because units, when they are in melee combat, the ranged ones, they do worse. So I'm going to try and kite them away if I can, because I need to get... This is going to... Fight the other guys, don't fight me. There we go. Okay, now we're going. I may actually lose this fight. I'm going to turn him on, because we're now taking losses strictly because of supply, and you can see it's ticking down. He's not taking damage from anything other than supply, and he's taking massive damage. So I may win this fight. Oh, usually military is, like, actual paid for military is better than the other dudes, but not always. Shit. Oh, we fucked that up. So that's why you got to be very careful with supply. It's something that's very important, and I left my guy sitting here for like 30 seconds or so while talking, and that kind of bit me in the ass. What I may want to do is take this first, which will allow me to kind of... I mean, this is literally as far away as it can possibly get from me, which is a real issue. And now I'm also kind of boned because we don't have enough cash to get the next one, because these guys have 2 health each. Well, not 2 health each. They have 2 units each. So technically that one's still at 1. I can probably beat him if I get back out there.
As you wish, master.
I could also, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just get out there. As long as I get out there before he goes again, we should be fine. If not, we're doomed. And I may have to restart over and just cry as this video is wasted, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so our other little ornithopter is kind of scanning around. You can see he's getting these little points of interest, so to speak. So we've got this one here, we got this one here. These are separate from these, and we'll cover both of those here in just a sec. So these little things right here are kind of the infiltration dudes. So you are going to get spies, basically, and the spies can research these things, and they will give different benefits. So you will, and I'll be able to show you that here in a minute once it opens up. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there soon.
Master?
All right. Dude, this is so freaking far, man. Oh, he's got 2 again? Are you kidding? Oh, okay, fuck it. Yeah, we're leaving.
Yes, master.
Fuck it. How not to play this game the right way. So he's definitely going to make it back in time. It's just going to take him a minute. All right. So if we zoom out, you can kind of see what we're looking at and what we're working with. So we have these other little points of interest here, other than spice. So this one right here is minerals, which basically makes plasticrete more effective. And this one right here, it basically allows you to make workshops, which makes producing... Oof. Oof.
Yes.
All right, there we go. We'll let him tick up. He has to get actually back to the town to start getting supply again, which is fine. All right, there we go. Move him up here. So anyways, if you claim these little spots here, you're going to get, like this one basically gives you research. Some of them will give you money. Some of them will give you, there's a lot of different things that you can get. So it's something you definitely want to do. These right here, they're resources that allow you to buff resource, reception. So you want to make sure that you're also doing those too, because you can actually use those to dramatically boost your economy and build other structures that can share their bonus to all connected cells. So at the same time, keep in mind that you have to have authority to claim different... Yes, we found another spice field. Oh, shit, that one's really close. So we're going to get 2. That's nice. I mean, assuming I can ever get up here. God, keep moving. Stop. Oh, my God. Why are you...
We live to serve.
Did I just misclick both times? Oh my god. Anyways, so you want to be careful with your initial claimings because you need authority to take towns unless you're using some other method. So you have to be very careful because you can basically run out of the resource, and if you run out of the resource, you're not going to be able to claim towns. And if you can't claim towns, you can very quickly have issues. So especially if somebody else is expanding and you can't, or if you build the wrong places and they build the right ones, then they basically can have a much better synergy than you can, and then you can have a lot of problems. You also kind of want to min-max these. It's not the same as like playing Command and Conquer or something along those lines where you're going to want to, you know, make sure that all of your dudes are microed, but you do want to make sure that you are kind of focusing on the same guy, because otherwise they'll just pick their own targets and do their own things. And if they do that, you might have 2 dudes pound on 2 different targets, or worse, 3 dudes pounding on 3 different targets, and that can definitely be an issue. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and claim this. We did lose another unit, but we got the damn spice. That is probably one of the worst spawns there because, and I kept misclicking, I guess. I didn't think I was, but apparently I did. Probably because I'm talking and not paying attention. You want to try and get the ones that are a little bit closer and easier, because then you don't have to worry about supply as much. So this is nasty. Anyways, we've now got this town taken, which is going to fix the situation we have with this dude. And now we want to at least get 1 and 1, because we need that to counteract the negativity. So if you remember up here for our guy, we get, and I guess I can't show you that that drawback, but yeah, we get, I think it's 10% reduction. So with each militia guy, we get +1 or +5. So we have to have at least 2 to counteract the drawback. So now we also have access now to the research tree, and they're kind of divided up into different areas. You have intelligence, you have military, this is kind of economy, and this is kind of production, sort of. And then if you look closely, you'll see in the upper right hand corner of these we have buildings. So those are the ones that will let you build a new building if you do the research. The ones with a person allow you to build a different unit based on that research. And then the ones that have an icon in the bottom right hand corner show you the ones that are specific to your race, so to speak. So keep that in mind if you're playing Harkonnen because you wanted something specific. Make sure that you aim for those, or if you're playing a specific race that has access to those are going to be the ones you're going to want to probably go first. So I'm going to pick this up first off because I want to reduce the amount of authority to take a system or take a town, because we're going to need that. What else? I mean, I really would like to get this one as well, because that would be a huge help. Yeah, this whole tree is good, but you got to be careful not to focus too much in one tree, because if you do that, you can miss out on things. So we're going to take 1, 1, and 1. This is going to reduce our building cost, and this is going to give us access to the Vanguard unit. So with that 3 going, you can see this is the primary, then we have a 1, and then we have a 2. I do have a problem with the way this works, because I can't really tell the difference. I mean, if you look close, you can see there's a slight outline, but it's kind of hard to tell, in my opinion. And it gets really bad later on when you start unlocking the random events that just put 3% here, 5% here, 5% here. It gets really confusing on what you're actually working on sometimes. The 1 and the 2 are really nice. It would be nice if maybe they put a 0 here, so that way I know this is the primary. Either way, you can tell if you come out here and look, and it will show, it'll show you you're working on local dialect studies, so you know what you're doing. All right, let's go ahead and unpause. Wait for this to build, and then we are going to start building our refinery immediately, because we're about to be in some shit, because this took way too frickin' long. Now, you need to be careful as well, because there are NPCs, both other races, and we're going to have to pretty much crank this to have any chance of hitting this. I don't know if we've even got enough time at this point, because the build is going to take a while. And I've never actually not paid taxes. I believe you take a Landsraad penalty, but it is what it is, and we're going to have to deal with it and just kind of suck it up. But back to defense, there's sieges and stuff like that. There are random NPCs that will kind of engage you, so you want to be careful with your towns. Since this is our first town, we don't want to leave it too undefended, so I'm probably going to leave my guy here. We already have 2 militia, but remember I was telling you guys the militia are not quite as good as actual paid resources. If I move this resource away and we were to get hit, we could really run into some problems. There is a speed meter up here, so you can left click it to turn speed up, and then right click it to turn speed down. You can't do it with like 1, 2, 3, which is kind of a bummer. Let's see. All right, so Atreides, they want us to give them 200 plascrete. They want us to give them 25 influence, and they're going to give us money, but they're going to take 20% authority production away from us. I'd like the Solari, but I can't take the authority reduction right now because we need to expand, especially since I fucked up and got, our army killed multiple times. So if we don't get out here and start moving, we're gonna have some real problems. So we have another issue, which is this town here has no bonuses. So we have a bonus here and we have a bonus here that will work well with our spice, but this has no bonus and we need to get here. We also know Freeman are probably right around this area, or not Freeman, Atreides. So that's going to be an annoyance too, because they're going to be rushing for it as well. Okay, so now that we have a harvester, we have the option of boosting the harvester. You can see it's got 0 right here. If I put a person on there, that's going to spend some manpower. So I lost manpower, and now it's going. So we're going to go ahead and deploy it, and then you want to make sure you turn auto recall on. You don't technically have to do that. You can kind of do it on your own if you want, but I personally don't like doing that because then I have to pay attention, and as we've already proven, I'm pretty bad at that, as I've already murdered multiple military people just by literally not feeding them. Now I did want to show you guys, as soon as this kicks on here in a second, I should be able to see this updating. And okay, so there you go. You can see we're going to probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 in our next tax, which means we're going to be a little light. And I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm hoping this isn't going to be the shortest game ever, but it's quite possible that it might. We'll have to see. I wonder, what happens if I oppress these people? So right here is the option to oppress these guys. So buildings are constructed 200% faster, which I should probably have done, and militia are trained 20% quicker. Oppress the village increases productivity, but cause unrest when the effect ends. So I thought that also gave us a resource bonus. I guess it doesn't. So it just would have let me get the harvester out faster, which probably would have, and let's crank this all the way up. I don't know if we're going to hit it in time. No, we're not. Even if it's cranked, we're still not going to hit it. Yeah. So I guess we get to find out what happens. So I believe it is a Landsraad setting penalty. So right now, yep, there we go. All right, you did not fully pay the Imperial tax. You lost Landsraad standing because of it. So I think we were at 150. So now because of that, they've kind of yelled at us, which is unfortunate. It's unfair. Powerful house unable to break even and afford its Imperial tax. Surely a tighter network of smugglers on your territory would benefit you. How about you eat my ass? So, all right, well, let's keep going. So now that we actually have this going, you can see that we're going to have 500 spice if we stick with our current setup. So obviously, or maybe not obviously, I'm going to drastically reduce that. That's still going to give us more than we need, but it's going to give me a much more monetary production. Unfortunately, since we've had problems with our Landsraad setting, we're also losing access to the better rates. So we're getting beat up here. All right, I'm gonna unpause that and let it keep going. So we have a raid coming. Remember I was telling you I was hesitant to leave this place because I was pretty sure they were gonna raid us? Well, they're raiding us. So I have the option. How many of them are they sending? I just see one right now, which is fine. Okay, before we get into that, let's cover the espionage stuff. So here you can see that I have gotten a agent. I will get another agent in 4 minutes, and I can do a variety of things with this agent. I can use it on Atreides, smugglers, or Fremen to start getting more information about them. Building up those guys' information can give you the ability, because you have missions over here, and missions require certain amounts of resources to do it. So like for instance, if I want to run a certain mission, I might need a certain level of something. We are going to put our first guy, into Arrakis, because this allows us to do the individual points of interest on the map, and it lets us build that up. And just to show you something cool, there are nukes in the game, but it requires you to have 2, 2, and 2. So we need 2 people in Arrakis, 2 people in the Spacing Guild, and 2 people in Landsraad. That's to be able to do the atomics mention at all. So, and once you start doing that, you really start pissing people off with Landsraad. So, okay. Our raids coming in. So this is the Landsraad stuff. I guess we'll cover that real quick. So with Landsraad, you have these charters up here at the top, which require very specific things. So for instance, you need 2,000 influence, you need to have 20 resolutions, etc., etc. That's to get it unlocked, and then to get elected to it, you have to have a certain standing and a certain amount of influence. So, and then once you unlock these, it gives you certain things. So like for instance, if I get to the Speaker of the Council, I can re-roll 1 resolution during the proposition phase, but this one allows the training of Landsraad Guard. This one, Solari production increased by 100% of the available water. Get 2 extra agents with a special council trait, plus 2 max agents, and then staying governor for 60 days results in a political victory. So you can literally win the game this way if that's something that you want to do. It will take a lot of work, but it is a possibility. So the elected faction suffers minus 30 influence production. So I can corrupt this if I want. But if I do that, I'm going to take another Landsraad hit, and I have to have the resource, which I don't have at the moment to do it. So, and then you have labor rights, which is a reduction, or actually costs more manpower. And then oh my god, I'm about to get destroyed. This game is literally designing, so like I'm playing the militaristic faction, and they're literally, because they're going to get to assign who gets this shit. They're going to hit me with manpower, and they're going to hit me with upkeep and recruitment costs, which is basically going to hamstring me. It's funny, it's starting to feel a lot like Left 4 Dead, where you have like the intelligent AI that sends shit after you, you know, and I feel like I'm gonna have a tank spawned on me right after 2 really bad fights. At least they were gentle here and only sent 1 guy. They can send a lot of troops your way, so be careful with that. I'm gonna pull him back, because if I leave him out there, he might get 8, and we don't want that. All right, so we've got 260 now, which gives me enough to set up a second trooper, which is good because we need to take this. All right, so now that I have the setup there, we're gonna go ahead and start doing these. So if you hold your cursor over here, you can see it's gonna give me Solari. You can see how long it's gonna take. It's gonna take 4 minutes. And that is because we have our little dude here on Arrakis. If you get more people here, it goes faster. I believe it reduces it by 50% each time. And then there's certain items and perks you can get to add more people so that you can have more dudes there, which allows you to do it faster. Let's zoom out a bit. So we now know where Atreides are, but we don't know where anybody else is, and they're going to be going for this pretty quickly. So I need to take this, probably this, and then start moving down south as fast as I can. All right, so we have a new unit here. I'm going to move these guys down, and then we're going to take this and then start heading south. And we'll go ahead and speed this up a little bit and let them turbo move across the mapping. There we go. All right, so we have gotten our 2 training setups now. So I'm going to go for, let's see, what do we want? 20% military units, water, FK, 20%. We're definitely going to need that because we need to be able to do water extractor is how you get water. Without it, you literally can't. And you need water to take over these buildings because without it, people are just going to die. I'm going to take local hubs next because I want to be able to instill fear, and then we're going to pick that up as our 3rd once this completes. Okay. Doing good, doing good. All right, I can build another unit if I wanted to, except we are... Oh, never mind. I was looking at this and not the other. This is the hegemony ability that I was telling you guys about. So as you can see, we're currently getting destroyed there too. All right, now be careful when you are clicking to engage these guys. You'll see I'm clicking here. The reason I'm clicking here and not on this is as soon as you click on that, you start the fight basically. So they will send people out and then they will come out and they will engage you out here instead of on the cement. So keep that in mind. It's better to fight on the cement because if you fight out here, you're gonna get sandworms. Okay, so confirm that. And so now this is, remember I was telling you guys, eventually we're gonna get one that we can actually use. So this one, build 2 new statecraft buildings or get elected to 1 positive resolutions. I don't think we have a chance in hell of getting either of those right now. So, yeah, I think we're about to get tore up, but that's fine. Okay, now we're gonna click here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and let these guys fight here because that dude's so far back and we're on 3x mode that it wouldn't work out. But you want to engage the range people before you engage the others because range get a reduction in effect when they're in melee combat. Okay, so with this, I can support or decline these. 200% units recruitment cost, minus 20% military units upkeep. So basically units are twice as expensive, but the upkeep is reduced. I want to decline that. Plus 30% manpower upkeep. I do want to decline that as well. Now I have 80 votes and I have 30 influence. So I'm going to put 60 here and then I'll put 20. You always want to spend your votes because the votes don't build up. Like, there's no reason to save them at all. Like, you're not going to have 160 next time. So burn your votes. You're probably going to lose anyway, but just do it. Your influence, however, is something that you want to kind of be careful with. That is something that does regenerate. So I'm going to hold off on doing this right now. I'm going to most likely get hit by this. So we're going to lose influence production, but I'm not going to put any money towards it because influence isn't something I'm really concerned about. I'm really concerned about these 2 right here. All right, let's let the fight finish. We have another spice field. Oh, now that one. Oh, that's bad. So this, we have another garbage town here. All right, let it ride. Yes, pick it. Okay. And hopefully it will finish up with the survival training here shortly so we can move to start the other thing. We have another agent that we can use. So here, it depends on what what you want. Do we want more manpower so we can produce more people? Do we want more Solari so that we can buy more things? Or do we want to produce more influence? Right now, I'm going to go with Chom because I think we're going to need more money. All right. And we have our new village. Okay, so before we go any further, let's go ahead and do a militia and a ranged. You know what? I'm gonna do another militia. I'm gonna do a demolitionist. That's gonna give me a 10% power or 10% boost on this, and that'll be nice. And then we'll unpause. I'm gonna also let this dude heal up. Now we have completed our training, so we now have access to Vanguard, but I need 200 resources. Okay, we've got our point of interest, so I can come over here and click resolve, and then we're gonna come down here. Let's see, which one's this? I don't care about siege detection right now. I probably will a bit later. I'm gonna take this one because that's gonna give us a random piece of tech. Well, not piece of tech. It's gonna knock off some of the generation. Whoa, we just got a shit ton of money. Where did that come from? We literally just got a ridiculous amount of cash. I must have missed. Oh, it was probably that right there that I took. Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. Yeah. And we're shy. You can see we're having problems with water now, which is why we're researching water contract sellers. Another spice field. Oh boy. So yeah, we're gonna want to take this one first. I can possibly get to that one too. That one's gonna be problematic though. Well, both of them are gonna be problematic. Okay, so we got hit. If I open this up so we can see, whoops, wrong one. You can see they did it to me. We did get the decline on this, which is nice, so we don't have to worry about this. But we did get a worse upkeep, so it is what it is. I'll take the upkeep over the costs. The costs would have just been too much. Okay, we're gonna move everybody to here so they're at the same spot. And then I'm gonna go ahead and build a plascrete make in place here. There we go. Because we have the plascrete bonus right here. So that's gonna boost our plascrete. These guys are good. All right, let's go. Whoops, I don't wanna hit it on the tap. I don't know what these Vanguard dudes are. I've never used them before. When any nearby unit dies while in combat, gain 20% power? Oh, Jesus. Is it permanent? No. Okay, it dropped off. Okay. I was about to be like, God dang, that's insane. Okay, so did we get our water thing knocked out? Not yet. So we're going to have to hold for a minute. Now, I guess I can show you guys trading. We need some water. We're going to have an abundance. Actually, we can't trade for water. I thought we could. Oh, hell shit. That's going to be a problem. So we have the option of sacking this town for 352, or we can just sit there and hold it. We're going to sit there and hold it for the time being. Sorry about that. All right, building is complete. And we still need another minute or so on the other. Point of interest investigated. Let's go ahead and resolve that. What else do we got? So this one is a siege detection. That one is, okay, which one's this? That is more production there. Yeah, I don't see anything else amazing. So I guess we'll just, why not? We'll find out where the siege is. Okay, unlock that. Harvester, shit. Pay attention to that. We must have, remember how we put on the auto recall ability up here? Must have happened while I wasn't paying attention. And due to that, it was pulled off. It doesn't auto go back on, which is unfortunate. Okay, we have a raid detected. So we have two coming in here. Where are they headed? Okay, they're going back up north. Shit. All right, so I'm gonna send this dude up there. I don't know if he's even gonna be able to make it in time. Shit. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it. Nope. Well, he might. He's quick. All right, so here I want to build the... Wait, no. One other thing I need to show you. All right, down here in the bottom left where it says wind strength, you can see this has a wind strength of 3. If we click here, this has a wind strength of 3. If I click here, it has a wind strength of 4. This has a wind strength of 6. I've never seen one that high. This has a wind strength of 5. We want this place. We want this place bad. Because if I put it here, that's going to help us out. So, how are we doing up here? That's unfortunate. Enemy operation tech. The 3 minute of launch an operation against you. Poison the reserves. Oh, you motherfuckers. Well, that's just rude. I don't know what poison the reserves does, but it doesn't sound good. All right, I'm going to take this guy out so that I can have my... And then I'm going to pull you off. Oh, that's right. You can't control these guys either. I forgot to mention that. The militia, they do whatever the fuck they want, and you can't do shit about it. Which is unfortunate. Good news, though, is that guy's fixing to die. Well, actually, they're both fixing to die. I guess that's good news. I'm going to kill the one that's easy to kill first. Kill. Oh, I got them both. Okay. Perfect. So that helped out a lot. That helped out a whole lot. Okay. So I'm going to have to build a water place just so we can get water. I don't want to build it here, but I don't have a choice. I can sack it later on. But we're going to have to build it for now because I'm not going to get water otherwise. And then I can claim this. We'll build one here and then we'll be good to go. All right, she wants plascrete, and she's going to give me spice, and she's going to give me influence. I have an abundance of plascrete. I am okay with that. And we just paid our tax. So you can see we're going to need 250 next time. We're going to have 325, so I'm just going to probably leave that. I could technically tweak it a little bit more, but I don't see any reason to do that. Okay, new vote coming up. What do we got? Development's completion speed is increased by 50%, and then House Atreides gets... Faction suffers 30% military power, and... Oh, Jesus. So basically, shit money and shit military. I'm going to do the military one because we need to make sure this goes to House Atreides. Whoops. So yeah, whoops. Let's do it back down to, I'll do 70. And then this I can do 10, that's 80, and then I'll do 40 on that one. Actually, if I do that, I'm going to lose. Yeah, I'm just burning it. Yeah, okay. We'll just do this one because this is the one that really matters. I can deal without the money. This one matters. And I'm okay with the statecraft completion for now. All right. Hopefully we get that water going here pretty quickly. Didn't realize I still had it paused. Boy, that has taken a while to build. Point of interest, resolve. I need another point of interest. Do it. All right, load it up. Come on, water. And boom. Okay. There we go. Instantly, we've got water, which means I can now cap this place. I'm going to leave that other dude up there for now, and then we're going to build one more bad guy. I like how I'm calling my own guys bad guys. It's like, yeah, give me another one of those dicks. That didn't quite come out like yeah. Didn't mean it like that. All right. Let's build some militia. There we go. And I do love that they all built at the same time. That's amazing. I forgot about the militia up here. Let's build 2 more of those. Okay, perfect. Doing good. And when that kicks up, we should be pretty solid. And then I can take this next. And I'm lucky because it's really close. All right, let's move you here. All right. So this is the results. So we now are going to make less money, but a trade ace is going to be weaker, which is all that matters. So we're good. We're good. I am okay with them being weaker. Much, much okay with that. All right. This is going to kick on here in a sec. There we go. We're up to 24. Okay. So we have 3 units here. There are 3 units there. Okay. So I think I am going to pick this up just so that we have a better, cheaper cost. Plus 20% health. I don't know if we really need that, honestly. I do need that. So we're going to take this and then that. Yeah, because that's going to give us an extra shot, which is an extra 5% for every single town that we own. All right, so I can build another dude if I want. I'm going to keep that guy up there just so that we're good. Yeah, let's build another Vanguard. And then we'll take 4. I could take this with 3, but I'm gonna do it with 4. Just to be safe. We have an unassigned agent. I think I am gonna pop him over here on that just so that we can have faster claims on these things. So go ahead and resolve that. And I'm just gonna basically start doing them all at this point. I say as I can't find a single one. There we go. Do that. Choose. Go. Now you can see we're down to 2 minutes instead of 4 minutes. About halfway done with him. Ooh, we got some water coming in now. Hells yeah. Which is great because we're fixing to take a bunch of towns. And we're going to need them. We're going to need them a lot. All right, go. Go. And we'll highlight all these duders here in a sec. And then we're going to rock this place, get that spice, and that's going to give us double spice. So, and then we're going to head north and try and get triple spice. We're going to be a spice girl. Or something like that. All right. Got that. I'm actually... Oh, Jesus, dude. Those Vanguard units are dropping fast. Motherfuckers. Oh, shit. My backfield. They're hitting me from behind, these dicks. It's alright. I think 4 of them is going to be able to handle them. Go ahead and claim that. Yeah, we got those guys tore up. We'll go ahead and start. Must leave combat. What the fuck, dude? He's like... Oh, that sucks, man. Alright, what's going on? Another operation against me. Village is under siege. Communication request. This ill-advised boat. We'll make sure you regret this offense. Eat my ass. He's all butthurt. I made his army shit. Happens to the best of us, buddy. Okay, so this is we're gonna want to do 2 buildings here. First one, we want spice. Oh no! I don't have batteries. Well, shit. I gotta build some batteries. So, fuel cell factory, go. That's all right. While I'm waiting, then, I am gonna go ahead, since this is a big place, we're gonna go ahead and build the wind trap. Okay. Okay, hold. See that? That's what I'm talking about. So if we, you may be able to see it. Well, no. Usually when you get that, the sandworm thing, you're gonna see some, you're gonna see underneath it like a little flash of some kind, and it kind of lets you know something's rolling around, but we're not getting that, so that's fine. All right, let this all finish up. I don't really care. Well, that's more what? Plascrete? Oh, and another spice place. Yeah, we're just gonna keep right on rolling. Yeah, how many people? Oh, it's 4, and I only have 3. Yeah, I'm gonna need to get some more peeps down here. let's build. I think I'm gonna. How much are these guys? They're 200. They're literally the same. Yeah, I guess I'll do them again. Even if they die, they give the other dude a shit ton of power, so it's fine. Now we know where that damn. Now we know where they're coming from. So that's 8. That's a pretty scary place. So we're not gonna be hitting that right off the bat. Now, I can start making friends with them by trading with them if I want to, but then it's gonna hamper my water. But we've got a lot of water options over there, and they're not gonna take that much. So yeah, that's gonna give me authority production, which I'm gonna need more than the water right now. So yeah, I'm gonna actually hit them with that. That's fine. Okay, so Jesus, they're gonna kill me on the Solari now? You dicks, you just killed me on Solari. You can't kill me again. I mean, I guess you can. You assholes. Yeah, I have to bid on this. I'm gonna just put all 80 onto that because I need that to not happen to me. So let's put that on House Atreides and fuck them. We'll leave it at that. Okay. This unit should be done here shortly. Where am I at on this? 258. I think I can go down another tick. I mean, it doesn't matter because we're just getting torn to pieces. I love how he casts this on a place that I'm not even gathering spice on. It's like, ooh, you kinda got me there, buddy. Bunch of dicks. That's alright. I'm gonna come right down here and take this here in a second. Now, with me trading with these guys, that should bring, you're gonna notice the relation at first was negative. Now it was negative 36. Now it's down to negative 27. So if we keep working on that, these guys are gonna hate us less. All right, we paid our tax. I'm gonna have to crank this up a bit. Is that enough, I hope? Oh shit, dude. Yeah, we're about to get murdered. Okay, so we have a manpower deficit. How do we have a... Well, shit. It's about to get real. Let's see. I don't need another siege. I guess that's a possibility that will work for us. That should work out okay. Hopefully. Except we're fixing to have some real problems with everything else. And I don't have any cash right now. I guess I can trade away. Let's not do it with the Atreides because they fucking hate us.
Business.
Okay, so I need... I need Solaris. But I don't need Plascrete right now. So let's see... You give me 20 Solaris for fit. Okay, so what if I give you like 200? No, what if I give you 300? How many Solaris will you give me for 300? You fucking asshole. 120 for 300. That's fine. Do it. That'll keep me going for a little bit, and we'll be fine there. Okay. Let's unpause. We got our money. Now I need to build, I need to build that spice place if I can afford it. I may not be able to, I can. Okay, thank God. Okay, I'll put that here. And then you four, we're okay on water. We need to get down here and kill this group, which we can then use to make more money. Hopefully. What's going on here? Chome loans. Oh, that's awful nice of you. So if I do this, they'll give me 750 Solari, which we're going to take. So I just need them to give me a minute. Yeah, we're just going to run down here and get these guys into combat. By pulling them into combat, they do less damage. And now all my guys are going to do more damage because they just died and lost one. And now they do even more damage, and you're all dead. Perfect. I don't think we lost the guy. Beautiful. Take it. Okay. We have an unassigned agent. I think we're going to need some more influence. So let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. And then we can take this next. And, I mean, we're fixing to be bumping and grinding here. Pretty quickly. Cease detected. Inactive harvester. Let's... I don't have any manpower to give you, but that's fine. You can still deploy. We'll put auto on. There we go. Hey, we just hit 2,000. So 2,000 was the first threshold that I was telling you about. It doesn't... I don't think... Yeah, we don't get anything till 5K. I don't know why they talk about 2K, because 2K doesn't even give you anything. But you notice House Atreides is murdering us on this. We're a little ahead of the smugglers, and we're catching up to the freemen. So that's good, I guess. All right, so this is Plascrete. Yes, I guess we'll just keep making Plascrete, because why not? Except we have... I have no manpower. Let's see. Let's get some manpower. Yeah, we need a recruitment place to make some more manpower. It's funny, in the last game I played, I mistook manpower for authority. And I needed authority, and I went hardcore with manpower, and I ended up with like 600 manpower that I couldn't do anything with. They want my Plascrete for influence and intel. Sure. I'm okay with that. Because I don't really need Plascrete right now. I do need the intel. Alright. Well, I think we're going to pause here because we're already an hour in, and I think that's a good stopping spot for this video. It gives you a pretty good idea of what to think long term. We're about to start bumping into fights with Atreides here. I believe their capital is... Yep, there it is, right there. So technically... Oh, shit, and they're right here. Yeah, they're going to probably take that. So this game's about to get really, really interesting because we're going to start fighting with the actual factions here pretty quick. So yeah, I guess I'm blue balling you guys a little bit, but I apologize for that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you like this kind of video? Do you not like this kind of video? Would you like to see more of this game? And by this game, I don't necessarily mean this specific run that we're on, because I did kind of fuck this run up, at least initially, and I made some mistakes because I'm more focused on talking than I am on reading my tooltips and making sure I'm not screwing up my economy. That being said, I think this game's pretty damn solid. There's a lot of replayability, there's a lot of fun here, and if this is your bag, I think this is a good bit. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you'd like to help me out, help fight the YouTube algorithm, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.